Another video on ATtiny13 microcontroller. Today we will be dealing with external hardware interrupts, INT0 or the external hardware interrupts. We will be using this INT0, the external hardware interrupt, to demonstrate a perfect home automation system example to understand how the interrupt works, why we should use interrupts of the microcontroller. To describe this home automation system, you will get to know why and how we should use interrupts and in which way we should use that. So in the datasheet you can directly jump on to the interrupt section. So here you can see there are various sources of interrupts like the reset, INT0, timer, EEPROM, analog comparator, watchdog, ADC, but we will be only dealing with INT0 today. So if you move here, you can see INT0 can be triggered by falling edge or rising edge or low level. This can be set by the MCU-CR. When INT0 interrupt is enabled and configured as level triggered, interrupt will trigger as long as the pin is held low, and obviously low level interrupt is detected asynchronously. There are also pin change interrupt, but we will be not dealing with that today. Now comes the register description. MCU-CR, MCU control register. You can see the ISC01 and ISC00. Other bits are not of for our use now. Here you can see the interrupt sense control. If both are 00, then low level of INT0 generates an interrupt request. If 01, any logical change will generate interrupt. If 10, falling edge. If 11, rising edge. So these two are for the edge triggered interrupt. By default on power on, both are 00, both are set to 00. So by default, low level of INT0 generates an interrupt request. Now comes the interrupt mask register. This is just the enable bit. So if you enable this, if you set this to 1, this will get enabled. This is enable bit, nothing complicated. Now comes the interrupt flag register. This is the INTF0, and this one is for the pin change interrupt. So our focus is on this one all today. And this is the pin change mask register, not for our purpose right now. So this is basically the whole register description. Now we will be using these registers in our code, but first let's understand what our circuit will do and what is the need for our home automation system and why we are using the interrupts there. Now in this block diagram of the home automation system, there are two parts. The one is with the LDR with the room lights, and other is the gas sensor with the buzzer and the water pump. LDR is light dependent register, and you know it is an analog sensor. So with an register divider, we directly take that output to the ADC and feed it to the ADC of the microcontroller, one of the ADC ports, ADC channels. So when light falls on the LDR, in case of sunlight, when light falls on LDR, there is no need of room lights, and in such a case room lights can be turned off. And when light does not fall on LDR, means in night, in such a case room lights can be turned on. So turn on the room lights at such a situation. So as per the value of the ADC, as per the light falls on the LDR, we can turn on or off the room lights. This is a simple thing. Now the other part, which is the more important part, is the gas sensor, MQ2 gas sensor. We will use MQ2 gas sensor in our example. It will detect the presence of a gas or smoke. So it can be used to detect the presence of a fire or smoke. So in case of a fire or smoke, you can very well understand this is very much more important. In case of a fire scenario, the buzzer should continuously ring, and the water pump will be used to pump on the water and extinguish the fire. So you can very well understand this part is more important than this one. So if you fed the output from the gas sensor to one of the interrupt pins, so in such a case, when in case of fire, the output pin will turn on low, and the microcontroller will get an interrupt request. So in such an interrupt request, it will jump off from the main code. It will serve the ISR which will contain by ringing the buzzer and driving the water pump, and this is the ISR section. So after serving the ISR, if the fire gets extinguished and the gas sensor again returns to high state, means no case of a fire, then the microcontroller can return to the main code and will serve the main code again. Now again, when if a fire scenario occurs, then again the pin will turn on low and the microcontroller will get an interrupt request. Then again the microcontroller will jump up from main code, it will sub the ISR. Now for a fire situation, as long as the output of the gas sensor is low, means in case of a fire it will continuously get interrupted and it will continuously grab the buzzer and the water pump. Therefore until there is fire, state will always be kept to low and the microcontroller will be always interrupted, continuously ring the buzzer and drive the water pump to extinguish the fire. And when the fire is extinguished, then again the output from the gas sensor can turn on high again, and then the microcontroller will not get any more interrupt and it can return to main code to complete the main code again, and this cycle goes on. So you can very well understand why this interrupt is important to a microcontroller. Using interrupts, you can do more tasks with the microcontroller. By using polling, you will tire up your microcontroller, it will take up more space, and you can do lesser things with the microcontroller. By using interrupts, you can do more things with the microcontroller and you can optimize the code. This is a very good programming practice by using a hardware interrupt and writing a code for it. So always use such an hardware interrupt in this kind of emergency situations, so that you can use your code, build up your code efficiently and do more things with the microcontroller. This is a perfect example where you get to know why we should use interrupts, and now we will be observing the code, how to use those interrupts in our code. The hardware experiment will be also showing you that. As you can see the entire circuit diagram, this is the 8013 microcontroller. This is the MQ2 gas sensor with two comparator, with two op-amps used as comparators. The working of this circuitry can be found in the previous video which I have made using op-amp as a NOT gate with theory and simulation on multisim. You can watch that video to understand the working of this section. Also I have this optocoupler based relay circuit. This relay circuit I have made previously. In the detailed description can be found in the instructable tutorial link given in description. I have made this relay board previously, and the same circuit has been used in this circuit diagram also. This is the 5-volt relay with the lamp. You can see the AC lamp, also the buzzer PB2, the LDR at PB4, the reset button at PB5, reset at PB5 with 10k pull up, push and push button. And this is the motor driver, the transistor based TIP31 based motor driver. Always use this flyback diode, and this is the DC water pump motor, DC motor, which is used as the pump here for extinguishing the fire. Also note that the VCC used for this section is isolated from this section. In case if you don't have a separate power supply for powering this section, you can short them to this VCC section too, but in that case you can get lesser isolation. If you use a separate power supply for this relay and this motor driver, you may get a better isolation and better protection. But since these are low power 5-volt circuits, you may wish to short this from here to here in case if you have no other 5-volt power supply. So depends on what you have and what you need. But anyway, this is the entire circuit diagram. The image file can be found in the description, video description, and also you can tally the circuit diagram with the block diagram here. The gas sensor to PB1, gas sensor to PB1, buzzer to PB2, water pump to PB3, the room lights to PB0. So everything is in accordance to the block diagram you can see here. At the very beginning we have the EVR IO, EVR interrupts.h and util delay.h, and obviously the HCPU, the internal 9.6 MHz oscillator. Now the voice set pin, it will just set the pin to input or output by altering the DDRB pins. Now the digital light will set the pin to either 5 volts or ground by altering the port B contents. And this is the setup ADC register. This will set up the ADC. This will be used to set up the ADC and then start the conversion. And this is the calculate ADC, which will return the 10-bit value from the ADC registers, result registers, and it will return that value. And this one is for the ISR, interrupt service routine. This is the syntax for writing an ISR. For example, if I use an ADC interrupt, I will write as ADC vec, and then curly brackets. You can write the ADC function here, ADC interrupt vector function here. So in our case, int0 vect, no need to write any or remember any vector location. The compiler will do it for yourself. You just need to remember the syntax. Just write ISR, the vector, and then inside the curly braces the function. And what it will do, it will turn on the pump on fire, and it will ring the buzzer continuously. A certain delay on, a certain delay off. It's used just like an alarm. And now comes the main code. This is the ACI enable interrupts. You know very well the sreg AVR status register, the I global interrupt enable. To you need to set this bit by using the ACI. So ACI is used here. Set interrupts, the enable interrupts. Now pump is set as output, buzzer is set as output, LED light set as output, and the LDR connected to ADC2, and the MQ2 output is connected to INT0. The gas sensor is MQ2 and the output will be connected to INT0, the interrupt pin. Now the GIMSK, which you described from the datasheet, enabling the INT0 interrupt. Now note that MCU-CR is not used here, since on power on by default is row level of INT0 is set. We saw on the datasheet by default the contents of the MCU-CR is 00. Therefore row level of interrupt is directly set. We need not need to change it, since in our example the MQ2 sensor board will generate a low level, and this will be directly used to trigger the interrupts of the microcontroller. But in another example, if you suppose you need an rising edge, so you may write as MCU CR 1 like that. You can use that, but we need not need to use that, since by default low level of INT0 is set, and that's fine for our purpose. So I think this is clear. Now in the infinite while loop, obviously the buzzer and the pump are turned off at normal conditions. So as per the calculate ADC value, you can turn on or off the relay. So all lines of the code are in accordance to the circuit diagram we just described here. Have the circuit diagram with you and then observe the code. It should be fine for you to understand. Also there are a lot of comments so that you can understand. This code will be posted in the GitHub and link given in description, so that you can watch the code and tweak it as per your requirement. Now if I try to compile this code, let's see that whether this will generate an error or not. I set the code, I build the code, it generates no errors. So we can burn the hex file into the microcontroller. Also notice that the program consumes only 46.1% of the flash memory, 472 bytes. You have 1 kilobytes of flash of the 8913A microcontroller. I guarantee you, if you use polling, this size will get increased, so you can do lesser things with the microcontroller. So that's what the necessity of the interrupts comes. Always use interrupts whenever you can find such an emergency case type of situation. So use this function, ISR function, whenever you are finding it necessary. Do not tire up your microcontroller by using polling methods. It is a very clumsy method. Always use interrupts. It's a very clever method, and you reduce your flash size and you can do more things with the microcontroller. So I think this example is very clear. Now time to burn this the hex file to microcontroller, and let's now see how the hardware performs with this piece of code. So this is the entire project which we have discussed right now. This is the main microcontroller board, the AD13 with the LDR on board, you can see here. And this is the power bank. The power bank is the source of the power. The 5 volts is directly connected to the VCC here. So every module is being powered from this power bank, and all the current is being provided from the power bank. So here is the transistor driver for the motor, the transistor driver for the DC motor pump. This is the pump which will spill out the water in case when there is fire. This is the gas sensor, the MQ2 gas sensor, and this is the relay module which we have talked before. Note that this orange wire is not a part of the project, this is just routine. And the bulb is connected with the relay. And in normal cases, when there is no sunlight, means that when there is no light falling on the LDR, in such a cases the bulb should be on. So now if I turn on the switch, the bulb should be on. Now what happens when sunlight falls on the LDR? So we will simulate a sunlight by using a mobile torch. We will put light onto this LDR, and let's see, in that condition then the bulb should turn off as per our logic. Now I am simulating a sunlight. See, when sunlight falls, the bulb switches off. Therefore during daylight the bulb is switched off. And suppose the sunlight goes off when it is dark, the bulb again switches on. So I think the logic is clear now. So now what will happen if I place a smoke which will simulate a fire situation near this MQ2. So we will see that next. So I think the entire idea of the project is clear now. The main thing is that when the interrupt occurs, the software, the program written inside the microcontroller, it jumps off from the main code, it serves the ISR, it rings the buzzer and drives the water pump, and then again returns to the main. And if the interrupt occurs again and again, it will the interrupt will be served again and again. In this whole project, we have used our own hardware. We have made this AT-tiny microcontroller board. We have made this transistor driver. We have made this op-amp based MQ gas sensor, and also the opto-isolator based relay. So making all this customized board by yourself, you can learn a lot of basic electronics on the way. And this is the magic of the embedded system. Here you can learn both the hardware and the software. You learned about the hardware. The circuit diagram will be given in the description below. You can watch again the circuit diagram there. Also the code which we have just discussed using the datasheet details will be also posted in description below. You can always have a look at it and modify as per your requirement and make more cool embedded stuffs. So this video we have just explained the necessity of the interrupt by using this home automation system. So I think I am successful in explaining you the idea of using the interrupts in a microcontroller, which is very important feature of a microcontroller. And using this small 8-bit DIP, see how we have managed to build a home automation system using this kind of fire alarm system. So that's the idea that we want to present in this project. So if you like this project, please give it a thumbs up. This was a long project due to the demonstration of the datasheet, the hardware circuit as well as the software and the final testing. So I think you should have now understand the usage of interrupt and how to use it with an Avia microcontroller. So thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and please hit the notification bell for getting notified about further videos. Thank you. See you next time.